Hello there, my name's Vince from My Mate Vince, and what you see here is a box of Amazon returns. So things that have been returned by customers to Amazon, and these are home appliances, things like kettles and toasters, etc. So let's get into the box, see what items are faulty, see if they can be fixed. I'm hoping some things might be interesting, and I'm hoping some fixes might be interesting. No doubt there's going to be things that are working as well. That's often the case with return boxes, but let's get into it and see what we've got. Here we have a Russell Hobbs honeycomb black 4-slice toaster. Looks brand new, as in brand new. I can't see any crumbs in the trays down at the bottom at all. Now, it's an electrical and a mechanical problem. If you have a look here, this is lower than this one. The right hand side works absolutely fine. You can see that the plates here have come together and it's already heating up. Hopefully you can see a bit of red glow and I can feel heat. Let's just cancel that. But on this side, not only does it not stay down, and you can see the plate on the left hand side is working but the plate on the right is not. Even if I hold it down, it's not coming up with any heat, or you can see that they're not being energized, the elements. So yeah, I've got a feeling it looks quite cheaply made. I've got a feeling this is going to be a nightmare to get into. I've got a feeling it's going to be clip central. So, but let's get over to the mat and see if we can get this working again. So the very fact that it's left the factory must have been working and it hasn't been used says to me that it's been damaged on the way to the customer. So I think it's been dropped. So I wonder now if we could possibly work out the mechanism. So when I do this side, that works. It goes down then, and it feels like I've got resistance, which then pulls these in. But it doesn't pull the bottom in, it just pulls the top in. Interesting. I thought they went in top and bottom. In other words, it's kind of gripping the bread at the top, but not the bottom. But I suppose the bread's not going to be that floppy. But you would think that would lead to slightly more uneven cooking than if it was, you know what I mean? Because the bread at the bottom could be a bit curved, for example. And it's only gripping it from the top. Okay, right, so that's not happening. So that one is working. But this seems to be coming over very early, this one. So this isn't really retracting, is it? They go down. Yeah, so I think it looks like a spring's probably gone out of place. Obviously, I am unplugged. Now, does this want to come over? So that does want to come over, and that wants to come over. Right, I think it does need to come apart. And I reckon there's another switch that energizes it when it knows the bread's definitely in there. So I think this is going to be a mechanical problem. So I was wrong about this being clip central. There's just 4 screws holding it together and 4 more hidden screws underneath the little rubber feet. But because I thought incorrectly it was going to be clip central, I seen a load of metal clips and I undid them. But you don't need to. They're just like the mechanism on the inside. You can take off the cover here without undoing the metal. So let's pick up the video as we're just about to open it up. Right, circuit board. So if I undo, there's little connections just here, you can see them just here and also here as well. I'm wondering if I undo them, if it will come undone. So that's soldered in. This one's not though, on here. Hopefully they're keyed. Yes they are. And I've got to do this one. So I'm going to have to... That's not going to come off because it's on there. I think I'm going to have to feed that through. It's putting up a bit of a fight. Right, so that's there. Can I feed that through there? Yes, I can. Are you going to come up now? No. Maybe I do have to take these off. How do they come off? I think they're glued. I don't believe it. I think they're glued on. They're plastic on plastic. I think that's glued. Oh, what a nightmare. Oh, okay. I might not have to take it any further because if you have a look, I haven't worked anything out yet, but let me just zoom in and see if you can see anything that looks different from left to right. So this is the one that's working, and this is the one that's not working. Can you see the two black springs there? Not this big spring here, but these black things. This one on the right looks correct, but the one on the left doesn't. It's a shame I can't do it so it's nice to film, but I can't. So I'm going to put that, zoom out, it might be easier. I'm going to put this one under here, just like this side. There. And that's okay up the top. They both look the same up the top, but this one has got tangled somehow around this thing, and it shouldn't. It shouldn't be around here. I don't know how that got tangled there. See, lucky I've got one working side. Can you see now? It's been untangled, you probably can't see. It's been untangled from there now. So let's, what does it hang on to? Does it just go underneath here? Come on, go under. Did my fingers instead. There. Right, so that's there. It's a bit bent up here, so I'm going to have to try to straighten. There's a bit of a curve on that one there on the left hand side. You see over here on the right, it looks nice and straight-ish. Well, that's really been bent up quite badly. Is it different up the top as well? Goes and bends over. That goes and bends over. No, so it just needs to be under there. So if I was to bend it this way, I wonder would that work? So I presume it needs to go down, it needs to lock on. This must be what determines, these get energized. Oh, is it this switch here? So I suppose it needs to go down as far as this, touch that, and then it will be energized. And because this wasn't going down fully, it probably wasn't touching that. It does seem to still be bent over this way. I think I need to unhook it from here again and bend it right over there, otherwise it might just get snagged up. How did this even get snagged up in the first place? I'm going to bend it right over. There we go. Right, that looks, I think, more similar now to the other side. Right, let's just see if that is going to do anything. I mean, these are sticking out loads here, but they are on the working one. You see these big prongs? You think that they would be more flat, but I don't want to bend them because every one of them stuck out, so I presume the manufacturer wants them stuck out. Let's see if that's going to allow it to go down. So that's no longer working, but that feels a lot smoother, and if you have a look, you see it's level now, while before it was down. But it's not, these side bits are not coming out. Why? When I took it apart, what came undone? A bit of insulation thing just broke off. I think that matters. Okay, so that's on there. Thing is though, without that bit of insulation, there is a chance that that could force itself over and short on that there. And I presume that's going to be ground, and that's not. So Really, I need to put a bit of glue or something on there. So that isn't in contact with this. That's not in contact with this, but that's in contact with that. So that's bad because that might blow the fuse or the breaker in the house. I don't quite know what's happened here. I think I am going to... I wonder how hot this is going to get. Would glue gun be okay there, or should I suppose I better mix some epoxy. Let me find out what's happening first, and then I'll have to remember to mix some epoxy on that later just to stop that from moving over. Oh look, I didn't have to undo them. I didn't have to undo them at all. Why won't it go down? Oh, look, look, look. It's these things that bring those things down. Look, can you see it now? Ah, that's clever. So when this, when you put your toast down, you know, when you put this lever fully down, the reason it's not working is because this isn't clipped in. Once this is clipped in, this will allow this to go all the way down. So let's just see now if it's going to do it on this side. Yes, and this one. Gotcha. Right, I think this is going to be working just fine. So let's glue up the back. I think it's going to be working okay. I'm going to put some epoxy on that. So overall it's a boring item, and on a video like this I still will get comments about why you're fixing this sort of rubbish, but the thing is, it's not for me. I make money, as I said millions of times, I make money on the videos, not on the items. And for me, it's interesting to see how that works. I've never really thought, I've worked on a Porsche toaster before, completely different beast, but this one here is quite simple, and you can kind of work out bit by bit, and I'm not saying I have worked out how it all works, but you can use your eyes to see that something isn't right, and then it's nice to work out that, oh, that's what brings those things in. So although the item itself isn't interesting, and I agree, I think the fixes of things, even boring things, can be interesting. So there we have it. How that happened, not too sure. It looks like maybe somebody picked it up from there, dropped it very badly. It's just that it's still strange, even with a drop, you wouldn't expect those springs to bend. So I don't know whether somebody tried to force something in incorrectly and then put the handle down. All a little bit odd how this actually would have happened with impact damage, but it is what it is. I can only look at what I see, and the springs are bent. How they bent, I really don't know. Anyway, I'm just going to epoxy this back bit on now. The chance of these two contacts hitting each other are very slim, but it's going to be even slimmer with epoxy holding the bit off the original piece back in place. And yeah, then I just need to screw it all back together, do up those metal clips that I didn't need to undo in the first place, and then we can bring it into the kitchen and test it. Right, I don't need 4 bits of anything right now, so I've just got a bit of bread and a pitta. Let's see how it performs. I've got it on 3 here and 3 here as well. I remember I did a video, I think it was on a Porsche, and somebody said that the 3 there will always be 3 minutes and the 2 there will always be 2 minutes, or 3 minutes or 4 minutes, but I don't think that's right. So I'm just going to do my stopwatch. I know I'm about 15 seconds late, and I want to see, is 3 minutes anywhere near, is 3 here anywhere near to 3 minutes? I don't think it is, because if you had it on 5, the toast would be completely charcoal. Do you know what, I bet it's going to be spot on 3 minutes. Oh, there we go. So it definitely wasn't 3 minutes. I know I was waffling on for about 15 seconds, but yeah, about 2 minutes 40, I think that would have been. So yeah, there we go. Actually, that there is just how I would eat them. So yeah, 3 minutes for me is perfect. So although I don't like the product very much, it clearly does what it needs to do. it toasts your bread or whatever you want to put in it. So yeah, a nice little fix. Something else that's also nice is, ta-da! PCBWay, the sponsor of today's video. PCBWay is your one-stop solution for all things PCB fabrication and assembly. From rapid prototyping to full-scale production, PCBWay delivers top-quality products. So whether you're a seasoned engineer or a hobbyist just starting out, PCBWay's user-friendly interface makes ordering your own custom PCBs very easy. And PCBWay do a variety of different services, including but not limited to assembling your PCBs, CNC machining, 3D printing, sheet metal fabrication, and injection molding. So when you're ready to take your designs to the next level, look no further than PCBWay and bring your ideas to life. So a massive thank you to PCBWay for sponsoring the My Mavens channel. Let's get on with the next item. Here we have a Philips Mini Blender 3000 series. Healthy smoothies in as little as 30 seconds. So let's open it up and see what the problem is. Well, that's a nice box of landfill here. I thought I was getting a Philips Mini Blender, but I'm getting a Breville one here. Now, these parts do go with the Breville one, but it's missing the blade. So the idea is the blade's supposed to screw on here, and then you put that on there, and it's supposed to chop everything up. And then I presume you take the blade off and put a lid on there, and that's your smoothie that you drink. So even if I can get this working, I haven't got any blade. But you can actually buy spares. It's just that they're not expensive items. It'd probably be nearly as cheap just to buy a whole new working one. But anyway, I want to see why this isn't working. When I plug it in, nothing's happening. It doesn't feel like this button is doing anything. So let's bring it over to the mat. I'm not going to spend long on it. Let's take it apart and see if we can quickly fix that button. But even with that fix there, you still need a blade to actually make this a working product. These things here have snap lids, so clearly things have been just bunched together, which is, yeah, just basically instead of the seller junking it, they've just put things together for somebody else to dump, which is very nice of them. So when I plug it in, it's not doing anything at all. But it's not clicking, so I think it's just going to be a switch fault. Unplugged. Let's undo the screws. I presume they're going to be hidden under here. Yep. And I presume the green separates from the white. Annoyingly, I think they're Torx, so I'm going to have to use my special screwdriver because I haven't got ones that are that long. Oh, actually, hold on. Hold on. I have. I got these after a recommendation, and they are ridiculously long. I'm not sure if I've got ones thin enough though. I mean, yeah, size-wise. That might be the one. Look how long they are. They're insane. I think they were only about £11 or something like that. Too big. This is a small one. Aha! Look at that! Never, ever will I be stuck for long, thin Torx ever again. It's insane. I need the cheering up, not a lot of sunshine here in the UK. So instead of going to the Bahamas, I just get the yellow metal out every now and then. Gets me my vitamin D. Right now, what have we got? So when you press that in, what's supposed to happen? Why have we got a spring? Oh, hold on a minute. You can only turn it on when this is down. You can only turn this on when this is down, so this might not be faulty at all. Yeah, now listen. There's going to be nothing wrong with this. So I'm going to put this back together. At least I got to show off my Torx anyway. So we have a massive AC motor there. We've got a little, some sort of capacitor to stop interference, I think, going back down the line. And really, that's it. We have an on and off switch. So, yeah, but it's just a mechanism here to stop that on and off switch from working unless you have something on it. A lid on it. Alright, let's see if it works now. I bet it does. So switch won't go in. If I hold down this here switch, I bet will go in. There you go. Right, there's nothing wrong with that. It just needs a blade attachment, and then I'm sure it will work just fine. Here we have a kettle. I've been doing quite a few kettles on my channel as of late, not intentionally. This one is a Balaco, the Great British Brand, the brand I've never heard of. I've done one of these already on my channel maybe a month or 2 months ago. Can't remember the fault on that one. I think it was the base one that you put the kettle on. I think one of the prongs was just a little bit too low, so it'd be interesting to see whether it's the same problem on this one here. Let's unbox it and see if it's working or if it's faulty. Yes, we have a fault. So it looks in very good condition. A tiny bit of scale on the inside there. I would say it looks like it's been boiled just a couple of times, if that. And I've got it plugged in now. And when I do this, there's no light on whatsoever. So let's get over to the mat. Let's fix this thing up. I feel confident that I'll be able to fix this quite easily. Now, I was reading the comments on one of the other videos I did, and they said quite rightly, why am I plugging this in and checking for AC voltage here, which is potentially dangerous if I was to slip with my probes, when continuity will do the same thing. So, normally I would, in fact, let's do it now quickly. Again, you don't even have to take this apart because this is going to be connected directly to the element. I think it's going to be the contacts in here are too low again, and they're not making contact with this here. So let's go into continuity here. Now let's have a listen. If I was to do that there, oh it is the kettle. Hold on, it is the kettle. So that means yeah, there's no continuity there, so it's not seeing the element. Let's just double check here. So we're going to go on to, let's do earth to begin with. I just want to see if that's the middle one. Yes, that's the middle one. Nothing there, nothing there. Now we're going to go to live. Is the outer one. So this is going to be the inner one, but not the middle one. This is neutral. So we now know it's the outer two that should be working. So the base in this instance is working. So it's a different fault, I think, than the one I had last time, which is good. So we should have something here. Let's just go to ohms, but we don't. So we have to open this up. So I've got nothing there now, but then if I do that on, I should have something there because that should pass it through to the element. And I haven't, there's nothing there at all. Interesting. You know what, the few kettles that I've done, I've enjoyed every one of them. Now let's see what secrets it's going to reveal. We're off. So, has the element failed? So we'll go straight onto here. Just notice my leads are dirty because I've been doing so much work on my wife's car. I was thinking about filming it, but the problem is I need to get it done and filming takes so much longer. So that's why there's been no videos on it. I hope the element's not faulty. Please be okay. Oh, yes. Element's okay. 30 ohms, 29 ohms. So now, why are you not working? What's going on? So that's going to be down like that. Well, first of all, let's see if we've got a connection from here to here. Yes, and from here to here. Yes, they're just going off to the light, unless of course maybe the light's gone faulty. That's going to be a little neon light, so I can't actually check that. Maybe the light could be faulty. Maybe I should put a bit of water in it and actually see if it's heating up. Let me do a little bit more testing before we do that. So I just want to see where this one goes to here. Nowhere. So now let's turn that on, and does it go anywhere? Yes, it goes there. So definitely that part there is getting to here. So why isn't that getting to here? It's getting to here. So we got a problem, hold on, between this one and here. Why? So it's not the neon light, is it? Let's take it apart and see if we can find out why that isn't connected to there. Good thing about kettles is there's not a million things in here, you know, you can fault find it pretty quick. I'm not saying I'm going to be able to fix this one, but apart from the fact that they may be dangerous, I think they're a good one to, maybe a good one for beginners, you know. Obviously they're only dangerous when they're plugged in, you know, I'm not going to electrocute myself now working on this here. Annoyingly, I've managed to strip that one with my special screwdriver. This thing's never let me down. Come on. Ah. Try a flathead in here. No. No, it doesn't want to come undone. Bend that up. Try a bigger flathead. Wow, that one is rock solid on there. I think if I didn't mess it up with my special screwdriver to begin with, I'd be able to get into this. Now, is there any other way that I can... No, I need to undo that one to take this off to see the other side of it. Right, I'm going to try to take this off. It's annoying I can't get in there. I have to see the other side of this. Don't think I can take this apart anymore. Can't even get the Dremel tool in there. Apart from hammering it around, I can't see how I'm going to be able to break this free. I'm just going to check with all the bashing if that's actually fixed it in case there was dirt on the contact. Yeah, so we've got it going to there now. And this one is going to there through the element. Let me put this switch back on. Okay, so on here, and now we should have, there we go, it's working. So this one is going to there, and this one is going to there. So that's through the element, that's the inside one, and that's that one, and that's through the element. This will beep up to 50 ohms, you see. Right, there we go, and then if I turn it off there, you can see it's not working. So whatever it was, there was just a bit of dirt on the contact, and now, you know, in fact, I'm whacking here, can you see we have some sort of white stuff coming out, but some of that might be, no, it's white stuff, look. I bet you some of that was on the contact and it was stopping it from working. A bit of oxidization or a bit of plastic. In fact, what I'll do is, let's get the screws in and I'll get the data back on it and I'll give it a good blowout. So it's annoying I couldn't undo that screw, but with all the whacking, I've ended up fixing it anyway. There's been a few things now where there's been dirt on the contacts. You know, the irons and stuff.
A good blowout later.
Here we go. Oh, not turned on at the plug. Now, lovely blue light. This is what started off my new addiction to kettles. This Bosch one here. Really like this one. So with this one, it was I had to glue up the base because it wasn't. This has a little safety switch on the bottom, and it won't allow this to be down unless it's on the base. So you can see there when I lift it up, it's not turned on at the wall, but when I lift it up there, that goes off. Yeah. So that was the only thing that was wrong with that. That wouldn't stay down. I can hear it's starting to bubble. There you go, you can see bubbles forming. So years ago, a way of fixing things like old TVs and stuff used to be to whack them. And to be fair, with this one here, if you were to give it a good few whacks, it would have probably worked. Also, with the recent irons I've done, if you were to give them a good few whacks to remove the bit of dirt that was on the contact, stopping it from making, it would have also worked. I can see steam's coming up now. Starting to shake. Should be any second now. Whoa, I was getting worried there. I was getting worried. Yeah, it really started to shake quite a bit before it actually did what it needs to do. Anyway, it's turned off. Here we have a Daewoo soup maker, 1000 watts, 1.6 litre. Let's open it up, see what it's doing. Annoyingly, having read the instructions, this is working absolutely fine. There was no Kettle lead with it, so unless the other one blew a fuse, so I've just plugged it in and it's all working just fine. So if I was to go to mode, I can feel that there's heat in here when I turn it on. I've only had it on for a short amount of time because you're not supposed to run it empty. And if I go to, for example, blend, you will hear it work. So the idea is you would put your ingredients in here and then it will heat up and blend it when it needs to. So I just went onto the juice one here and it would blend for around 10 seconds and then pause, blend for another 10 seconds, pause for a while, and so on and so forth. So yeah, as far as I can see, this is all working just fine. Here we have a Daewoo Baltimore Collection 1.5 litre 3 kilowatts rapid boil kettle, 3-year warranty. Let's see what's wrong with this one. Well, annoyingly this seems to be working okay. This one has a little temperature gauge on it just in case you forget what temperature water boils at, and there we go, it's just turned itself off. Plenty of steam. Don't know why this was returned. As far as I can see, it's working just fine. fine. This is one of these ones that have the safety catch as well, so when you take it off here and you go to turn it on, it won't stay down. Yeah, okay. That's a shame. I've just worked out what the problem is. Look, it's leaking. Can you see if I go onto a clean bit of floor? Look. Okay, let's take it apart, just in case it's something that is fixable. Maybe there's a rubber seal and it's been put in the wrong place, but there, you can see that's dripping away there. And that's not coming from the spout here, it's coming from the base. So yeah, you can see a nice big puddle there. So let's turn it off safely. Let's bring it over to the mat, empty the hot water out, and see if we can fix the leak. Now, this should be an interesting one. It's still very hot around the place. I mean, it all looks sealed, but clearly water's getting in somewhere. Seems a little bit wet at the bottom of the handle, and also we have a tiny little stain here. Can you see just there? It's gone now. Unless it's something to do with the tube. You know this tube here? No, because that goes down there. Let's take the bottom off and see if it becomes obvious. That's that little safety switch. Just here, there's a little button just here. Now, is it going to become obvious? How do I even take this out? Do I turn it? Oh, you unscrew it. Oh, nice. Plastic. There's water here. Where is it coming out of? Let's fill it with water and see what's happening. Right now. Oh, it's the rubbish temperature gauge, which is not even needed. It's coming out from here. I can see it's coming out there. Not that way, but that way. I know you can't see it, but you can see the drips on the mat. Nothing here. And if I go here, drips. Right, it's coming out from this area. Right, let's empty out the water and then see. So it was coming down here, and then it was just running down either inside here or just outside onto the base. Actually, I say it's not needed. Yeah, it's not needed if you just want boiling water, but not that I'm into it. But I remember reading something about teas. Teas are made with different temperatures depending on what tea it is. So maybe that's the idea. You would boil the kettle, because normally you don't know what temperature it is. It will just turn off when it's boiling. But maybe you want this to go to 85, because look, these are going up in 5. When over 80, they're going up in 5, 10, 50. Yeah, they're going up in 5 Celsius intervals there. Not on the low down ones, they're all 3s, but on that one there. So yeah, so maybe it is useful. You can see there's a little bit of green just in here. So how is that even held in? Is it a push fit? How am I even going to get that out now? So there's rubber around the edge. I wonder, can I prise it out? So it's the rubber that's keeping it in. Here we go. Right, let me try to use a plastic and this. Now that I've lifted it a bit, I hopefully could just use plastic. There we go. Ah, right. Okay. So this is the actual kettle itself. You can see there, that wasn't my prying. This was my prying here. This is the green here is where the water's been getting out. So we have prongs going down here and also there. So maybe if I was to squeeze those a bit this way and this way, that might be enough to put pressure on this. Or they might be too squeezed and it might be deforming this. So you can see it looks like water's gone here, I think, because it looks different. It's got like this kind of white paint on it, but here we haven't. Oh, do you know what that is? That's when they sprayed it. So they sprayed this with this in situ, it looks like. I don't know what that is, or is that scale? Do you know what? That's probably scale where the water's getting out. I suppose this would be putting at the end. You wouldn't put this in, would you, beforehand? And then spray it. Yeah, that's scale, I think. I'm going to clean everything so there's no scale that's letting a kind of little weep hole out. So that's going to go on there like so. I did notice it when it was in here, it was slightly off. It was just more like that there. I don't think that would make a difference. And we have this here. So it's not this that needs to seal, it's purely this against a kettle that needs to seal, because this is already sealed. Do you see what I mean? Unless of course water was to get through here, but that's why you have the little rubber bit. So I don't think it's leaking from here. So that's just going to push in, so I'm not going to do that now. Yeah, that's going to click in through those holes into these bits. So it's this thing here which is not sealing. Why? Oh, sorry, no, this is forcing this into here. Yeah, so it's sandwiched between with the metal on here. Right, let's have a look on the inside. Just trying to see if I was to force, I don't know what these prongs are for. Do you know what? I don't think this was tight enough against here, and I think if I was to put those prongs down a little bit and the bottom one up a little bit, it might grip onto this better. And then it might push it more, you know, push it more in. So this might, when I push this in, it might stay in. Because as far as I can see, that's still a brand new rubber seal. So unless there's a kind of little ding somewhere on here, which I don't think there is, I think it should seal. So I clean it all up, get rid of all the bits of scale and stuff, and then I put the prongs up and down and put it back together. Let's see if it's leaking now. Okay, I've filled it up. Again, you're not going to be able to see, but you will hopefully see the mat. And I've gone over the level off the thermostat. It's not leaking. Maybe when it boils it might leak. So maybe all I had to do there was, when it was empty, put force against there and push in here, and it might have been okay. Or possibly with me just cleaning everything, there might have been a bit of scale build up or something that pushed it out. Who knows, maybe it was to do with those metal prongs. Put down in the comments what you think, but it's definitely not leaking now. You can see there's nothing coming out on the mat. Yeah, you can see it's completely dry around here. So I'm going to reassemble it and test it to see if it's now leaking when we get up to boiling temperature. But first of all, I just need to do this. I noticed that there's a few little scratches on this side here and a tiny little ding. So it needs some PDR, paintless dent removal, on it. But I'm not going to get involved in that because I know that I would just make that much worse. It's only small. But what I was thinking is if I could just tap a bit of white paint on here, it might take your eye off. Now, it isn't pure white. It looks a little bit creamy colour. I'm not going to be able to get a match. I had this in my... I don't even remember buying this. That's how long ago it was. It must be, because I've never had a Ford, it must be at least 10 years old. And it feels like there's a bit left in here, but I think it's completely blocked up. But if I can just get a dribble out, I can just use a needle or the tweezers and just tap it on here just to take your eye away from it. This is car paint. Well, here we go. I've got a dribble, and it does seem to be. It seems to be a very similar colour. I think I need more. I was hoping that would transfer better. Not transferring at all. Why aren't you transferring? Weird. Let me try something a bit thicker. My paintbrushes will be too thick, you see. There we go, that's better. I think the tweezers were just a bit too fine. Now obviously when you're zoomed in close like this, you're still going to see it, but I think when that dries, your eyes won't be taken to that. Okay, while I'm being an artiste, let's give a shout out to the My Mate Vince Massive, the top level Patreons. The members this month are kitdigital.com, Kip Hakes on YouTube, Max Rokatansky, Chris Seal, Felipe at MrKeeps.com, DJVG, Pigsy, Anthony Dean, Russ Melanson, Shigate, Rickard Berglund, SoulReaver555, Shamsa Al Sawadi, Stuart Park, Stephen from the Broken Past on YouTube, Lee Benz, 360 Picture UK, and Niall Stone. A massive thanks to each and every one of you. More here. There we go. Oh, look at that. Now you see from there, which is still pretty close, I can't even see it. Yeah, taking your eye right off it.
Let's boil it.
Okay, I'm filled up right above that level here now. In fact, I'm just under max. So let's see if when it's boiling it's going to leak out here, and also when it's boiled, if I move it around the place, is it going to splosh out from there? Well, there we go. You can see that is bone dry around here. Oh, it's hot. It's all metal, you see. Right, let me just grab it and see if any water is going to come out. It's coming out. Look at that. It's flying out of it. Look at that. Yeah, so it's coming out from... It was coming out massively. I'm going to unplug that. Right, well, that certainly hasn't fixed it. That's worse than ever. Is it just a design fault? Look at that. Right, well, that's definitely not fixed. Let's give it one more go. How amazing was that? It was cascading out like a waterfall. It was me thinking I was Billy Big Balls having fixed it, and no, absolutely awful, worse than it was to begin with. So I wonder, do the metal prongs need to go this way? I wonder, is it upside down on the inside? That doesn't make any sense because, you know, these would just be quickly put together in the factory. So they can't... You know what I mean? What's happening here? Why is the water getting out so easily? Unless, of course, it is upside down. I mean, it doesn't look like there's any dents here. It just seems to come out too easy. Look. That seems far too easy. Right, is this reversible? I mean, I could put some sealant around it. I could possibly JB weld it in, glue it in, you know, on the outside here. So this bit here wouldn't be touching the water anyway. But what I don't understand is, why is that not sealing? Why is that not sealing there? So this goes in here, like so. Ah, look, I think this is it. So it clicks in, remember it clicked in before, and if you have a look up here, can you see that they've gone in nice, yeah? But look here, they look like they're kind of, they've got some sort of, you know, they haven't been bent properly. And look at this one, that one's not even in. Oh, it's broken. It's broken there. So it's not pushing it in enough. So maybe when I got this, maybe this was, you know, maybe it was in this way, because then maybe this is sealing better than up here. What I mean by that is, although it is reversible, you can clearly see that one side's okay and the other side's not. So when I bought this and tried it to begin with, it wasn't leaking that bad. Maybe the good side was at the bottom. So if the good side's at the bottom, not much water may have come out off the top, because it might be harder to come out of the top. But when I put it in now, I might have had the good side up the top and the bad side at the bottom. Hence the reason why water was just cascading out. What is amazing about water is, once it finds that path, it will keep on coming. Whenever I do any sort of plumbing at all, I'm kind of guaranteed to have a leak. If I do a bit of electrics or other things, I kind of am okay. Plumbing, I hate. Even something simple like waste pipes. Not much pressure there. I will still get a weep somewhere, and the weep will just come and come and come and come. And this is another instance here where whenever I try to do anything involving water, it will just go against me. So I don't really know what I can do here. What I try to do is I try to use some hot air on it, because it is just plastic, to try to bend it back into place. And basically I do feel as if I have made a little bit of progress, because I'm kind of melting it back into place to make sure it grips nicely. The problem with that is when I put it in the kettle, then it's very hard to actually get it to clip in, because in a way I've made it too snug a fit and it hasn't allowed for the metal off the kettle. But I mess with it a bit longer, just using the hot air station and my metal pry tools, and then I do get it where I think is going to be okay. So I have probably wasted about 45 minutes on this. Let's get it into the kitchen and see now if it's going to work. Didn't dream this would take so long. Anyway, cold, it's not letting any water out. Yes, it is. Well, if it's not going to cope with cold water, it's certainly not going to cope with hot water. So I think I have to call it a day on this. This one's beaten me. But at least we've proved that's definitely the fault. So from the very beginning, it was the plastic wasn't clipped into the clips nicely. I'm wary about using silicone, because it's a food. This is a food product. I don't know what it's going to be like with water. I'm trying to think how much silicone is going to actually be touching the water, because I'd be putting it around here, which seals around here on the outside, as long as there's enough. But clearly water's getting through here, isn't it? So does that mean it's touching the silicone? I don't know. Right, I can't fix this. I'm going to put silicone on it. If you could just tell me down in the comment section below whether that is a big no-no. And if it is a big no-no, then I will just take this, this will be dumped. Right, I've got this stuff here that I've been using around the house in like the bathroom, en suites, etc. And I've just had a look at the back here, and it says, harmful to aquatic life with long-lasting effects. Use only outdoors in a well-ventilated area. Avoid release to the environment. So if it's harmful for aquatic life, then I don't really think humans should be drinking something that this may be in contact with. So I'm not going to use this. You can get, I've just typed in food grade silicone sealant, and this one's popped up. I don't know if it's any good or not. It says Ideal Seal food grade neutral silicone sealant, and it still says on it, you can get it in clear, which is what you'd want for here really. And it says it's free of solvents and mineral oils with food-grade antifungal compounds to provide a low-odour, watertight, pressure wash-resistant flexible seal which inhibits mould and bacteria growth. But yet, if you look here, it still does the same sort of thing that this would do. So you've got it for building, glazing, facade applications, sanitary. So I'm personally not going to buy it because I'd have to pay £6.95. I think it said £5.95 delivery. So I'd be looking at just under £13, when a kettle like this I'm sure doesn't cost much more. In fact, let's find out what this kettle actually costs. But at least for me, it's about finding out what the problem was. So I don't actually mind that I haven't fixed this. I know it can be fixed. Wow, I didn't think it was that much. It's £40, but you get 3% off, so $38.95. Interestingly, it's only got 1.5 stars, which is really bad. I just want to see what people are saying. Here we go. Leaks from temperature gauge. Kettle leaks at temperature gauge. Got a replacement and same fault occurred. Not fit for purpose. Poor design, fault leaking. We have bought 2 now and both have the same fault leaking from the temperature dial on the front. Lovely looking but leaks. It's so pretty but leaks. See more reviews. Yeah, there you go. Look at that. Awful. Well, there you go. It clearly is a design fault, so why am I wasting my time with it? I think if I got the food grade silicone, went all the way around here and went in here where this joins here, I think it would be absolutely fine. Maybe I could even put a seal around here as well, and then I think it would all butt up nicely. So I am not going to do that because I haven't got it, but you never know, in the future I might well get something like that and then I can use it on here. Now sadly, I was thinking about this when I went to bed one night, and why didn't they put the dial up higher? Because this is going to have a max level at around here, like most kettles. Why didn't they put the dial out of the water above the max level and then just have a right angle probe going down into it? The probe at the moment I think is quite dangerous, because if you reached in here to try to clean it, to descale it, it ends on a point, so you could easily cut yourself. But if the dial was here, you could just have a right angle probe going down and it would still measure the water, yet this would be out of the level of the water. The only thing you've got to worry about then is steam going to leak out of it. So you put down in the comment section what you think, but would it really look that much different if this was higher up here? I don't think so. And it would still perform the same thing. Obviously other kettles have like a digital readout elsewhere on the handle and stuff, but if they wanted the dial, which clearly some people do because they say it's a nice looking kettle, then I think they should just put it here and it wouldn't be any more expensive, and I think it would be safer and also less chance of leaking. So yeah, as far as I can see, that really is a complete design failure. Well, there we have it for this video. Some Amazon return home appliances. It wasn't the most interesting, really. That was already working, so I couldn't do anything there. This one, you just need to buy another beaker with the blade on it. Yeah, the toaster was a proper fix and interesting enough for a toaster. This one here is fixed, but I didn't get to see what the problem was, which is a shame. Weirdly, I think the thing that was most interesting for me was actually this kettle here, the one with the temperature gauge, even though I couldn't fix it. I think for me that is the most interesting one. Maybe it's not a design fault, maybe it's a faulty batch, and there might be thousands out there that are working because maybe they have a different way of sealing them. For example, maybe now they've gone over to like a screw and a bolt or something, or maybe the rubber seal on the inside is different. So you don't really know just because the reviews are bad. I can't say that all of them are faulty, because it seems weird that they would be released if they knew, and they must have done testing, that there was a fault on them. So yeah, I think for me that was the most interesting one. Now I have actually done other items from these return boxes. This one over here is in its own video because it was quite involved. And yeah, I'm looking at the time and stuff. I'm going to wrap up this video today, but there's still plenty more items that I've done and plenty more to get through, so they will be in other upcoming videos. If you did get any enjoyment from this video, I appreciate it's not the best video, but if you did get enjoyment, please give it a thumbs up. It all helps, and hopefully I'll see you again with more Fix It videos and also more Amazon return box videos as well. Take care, everyone.